And finally, here we are. After a grueling 2 days of you having to listen to me talk and getting angry at me maybe, now you have to listen to me talk again and maybe get angry at me again. Still, this is the final segment of my top 30, covering numbers 10 all the way to 1, and as always, because I'm a positive dude, it was difficult to arrange it so that it would be in the order that it's in. So, with that being said, let's get to the top 10. Number 10, Free Throw, Lessons We Swear to Keep. Back in the 30 to 21 segment, I covered a few albums that did the Grady Midwest emo tune style of pop punk, and I alluded a lot to the best example of it in the year. Well, this is the example, and it might be Free Throw's best album to date. It's got fantastic pacing right off the bat, experimenting with their formula and paying off well, not to mention the lyrics being emotional and well written, a solid performance from Corey Castro, and organic production value. It's a good album for the soul too, a very comforting one at that, so play this one if you need that good feeling. Number 9, Story of the Year, Tear Me to Pieces. I know that this album being here seems like a massive nostalgia hook, which isn't helped by the cover looking similar to probably the best known album in their debut, Page Avenue, but I never had nostalgia for this band a lot, and I did a backtracking episode about them. But that is not what's important, because what is important is the feels that it gives me. It's a fantastic callback to that mid-2000s emo pop-punk sound, with some great production, really good writing, a few neat tricks here and there as well, and the band just having a damn good time. It may be a nostalgia bait, yes, but it's well written and nicely realised and wonderfully produced, and thankfully not cheap nostalgia bait. It's the good kind. Number 8. Those Damn Crows, Inhale Exhale. I think when I covered this band's last album, I was just thankful that a modern day rock band had a good personality, and this album takes that and ramps it up with some great writing and really nice production. The mixing and editing on this thing are seamless, and it's got good pacing without a scrap of fat on it, and there's also a big step up in emotional value, which is a big plus, and it's nice to have a rock band actually talk about that stuff. Hopefully more modern hard rock bands follow this example, and if not, well, I don't see why not. It's as easy as breathing in and out. Number 7, McKinley Dixon, Beloved Paradise Jazz. A recurring theme of this whole list has been that a lot of the bands were willing to experiment and it mostly paid off. And McKinley Dixon does that here with this solid jazz-infused conscious rap album with really well-handled political themes and a charismatic and effortless performance from Dixon himself. The album has really strong production and a nice framework to it, but it's the writing that really elevates it, working in themes of loss, death and police brutality, balanced against a lovely bunch of soundscapes and good beats. It's worth a listen if you like rap that makes you think, and trust me, in this day and age we need more of this kind of stuff. Number 6, Polaris, Fatalism. In the 20 to 11 list, I brought up the loss of Taylor Hawkins when covering the new Foo Fighters album. The difference between that and this is that Polaris' lead guitarist Ryan passed away at 26 not long after the recording of the album was finished. To me, that adds a bit more value, and Ryan himself puts on a great performance on the lead guitar for his last ever appearance. The writing on this is great as well, tackling themes of depression and loss that have so many more layers now, and it's produced so cleanly, and it's got that great mix of heavy and emotional moments. I would have been completely happy with the band holding back on releasing it, or maybe just not releasing it at all, but I am so glad that they did, obviously with Ryan's family's permission. Speaking of, may he rest in peace. Number 5, Creeper, Sanguivore. Next we go from a very real and sad loss to a sort of fictional one. I did have to do a bit of tone policing here and I felt this was appropriate. But yes, Creeper have come back with an operatic gothic rock concept album about a vampire and the old man who helps her. It's a great love story with horror themes, and the story itself unfolds beautifully thanks to the sheer force of personality and the beautifully handled production. It's well written on the instrumental front as well, and it throws in a lot of curveballs to mix up the pacing, but it's ultimately a great concept album by one of the UK's best modern bands. Number 4, AJJ, Disposable Everything. So, you know how there's a band that's been around for a while and you recently hear about them and they drop a new album and you find out that they've apparently been dropping gold since they first formed? Yeah. Why did no one tell me that AJJ exists? Disposable Everything's a funny, very human album about grief and capitalism, and its anti-folk sound is bolstered by really nice production and great performances with some fun pacing twists. I also really like the bass and keyboard work, and the album as a whole really grew more on me as the year went on, and you should definitely give this a spin. It's really goddamn good, and again, why did no one tell me that this band exists? They're fucking great. Number 3, Jesus Piece, So Unknown. When it comes to my top 3, I'm usually pretty confident about the albums themselves being separate in their positions, but you could rearrange these final 3 in any order and I would not disagree with you at all. First in that order though was Jesus Piece's second album and first in 5 years, and it's one of the most densely produced and crushingly authentic offerings of 2023. It slugs with heavy metalcore breakdowns, it breezes from song to song effortlessly, and the themes and performances are great, and it gets in so much in just 27 minutes as well, so it's short, yes, but it has a long-lasting impact, one that I'm still thinking about almost a year after it's been released. Number 2, Currents, The Death We Seek. The album that was so dizzyingly close to being my favourite of the year until my number 1 came out the following month. The hype for this one was immeasurable, and it didn't just live up to my expectations, it fucking exceeded them. An album about acceptance and how we handle our mistakes. It's got heaps of maturity to its concepts, fantastic guitar work, and brilliant production. Brian Willey puts in a versatile vocal performance as well, and the album has several facets of the sound that push it from good to great to something close to perfect. Currents are a band that have grown a lot since first planting their seed, and while they have shown fantastic growth in their short time as a band so far, I look forward to the day when they truly spread their roots, enter to the sunshine, and Blossom. Number 1, Pupil Slicer, Blossom. The strange thing is, I don't think I listened back to this one as much as most of the other albums on this list. I certainly haven't listened back as much as previous Album of the Year winners. But I had time to sit with this one recently because I thought the first experience was just a fluke, but it turns out that's not the case. This album is fucking perfect, and Pupil Slicer have improved a whole lot as a band. The album is a concept album about someone slowly going insane and falling in love with the unknown, and the storytelling is fully fleshed out and fantastically written. The musical side doesn't like either adding in elements of indie, synthpop, black metal, punk, grindcore, and making it all work with their mathcore sound. Full of chaotic guitars, bass, and drumming, the performances are phenomenal as well, and vocalist guitarist Kate Davies puts in fantastic work. Production-wise, it makes all of its elements work without over-mixing, letting things breathe, and somehow making it all cohesive among all the chaos. And the pacing is the cherry on top for me, with perfectly executed experimentation, all of the risks that it takes definitely paying off, and it never loses its vision. As I said earlier, you could switch this, The Death We Seek, and So Unknown around all that you want, and I would not disagree with you, but there's no question, no niggling, and no doubt in my mind that this is my favourite album of 2023. So that'll about do it. That is my top 30 albums of 2023 covered. Thanks to my amazing and adorable co-star for being here to probably get more people to watch the video. Next thing you'll see me for, I don't know. Oh yeah, no, tomorrow night go home show for PBW vs AVW Catch the Crown. But no real videos planned after that, because I've done my top 10 UFC fights of 2023 already, so, yeah, can't really think of much else. I know. I'll see you all tomorrow night, though, for the next stream. So, as always, thank you for watching, you're awesome. Bye-bye.